Welcome to the VIP MasterClass series. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is requested by Ari. And Ari is a friend that I met at one of my concerts in Florida for the Chopin Foundation. So it's great to have you as part of the VIP Masterclass series, Ari. And he says the following: I'm very much looking forward to participating and observing the VIP videos. Since the last time we met, I've successfully learned a bucket list piece for me, the Fantasy Impromptu by Chopin, along with his revolutionary etude, plus numerous preludes, nocturnes, etc. I too, like you, love Chopin. Not sure if you recall, but my studies have been sporadic throughout my life. For example, I now have a good piano teacher I see once a week, and she's been helping me to learn the circle of fifths along with basic scales, arpeggios, etc. My sight reading and touch on the piano is great, she says, but I know my technique and speed is hindered due to lack of scales throughout my piano career. In a previous life, I tried the revolutionary etude and my left hand was fatigued and tight. Nowadays, I can play it at a fairly decent speed. I try to focus on touch and musicality instead of just speed. Then Then the Fantasy Impromptu, which is also left-hand intensive, and then the Beethoven Pathétique Sonata Part 1 and all its tremolos, etc. Obviously, I'm building good stamina. Anyway, I wanted to know if you could suggest a good wrist loosening exercise, maybe Czerny or something creative you've used in the past. I see how many pianists that are playing the same type of skill level pieces I'm playing seem much more fluid in their movements, particularly when they lift up from a fermata, etc. My gestures seem artificial, whereas theirs and yours seem naturally fluid. Also, I had another question. As far as lifting weights and working out, speaking of wrists, do you see any problems with push-ups or bench presses? I want to start lifting again, but I'm worried that lifting weights will hinder my piano progress. Is this a myth or something to worry about? And I already answered that last question in an email to him, but I wanted to include it today because I think it's so good to work out as a musician, but you do have to be careful. A lot of things, like I remember there's like a weight that dangles from a handle that has a rope with it, and you do this, it really builds your forearm muscles. That to me kind of hurt my wrists. Or certain like jump push-ups, like where you jump from like a standing position, go down and do a push-up, that kind of hurt my wrists after a while. So there's certain exercises that I would avoid, but like normal bench presses or curls or any type of basic movement that doesn't put a ton of like drama or shock on your wrists, I'm all for that. So I just wanted to address that for each of you, first of all. Now, let's get to a couple of your specific requests. You talked about the Fantasy Impromptu first, and you talked about the left hand. Let's talk about a couple of different exercises in general that you could do, and then we'll talk about these pieces in specific, like... So one thing that you could do, even Hanon exercise number 1, you notice how my wrist kind of goes down and then it turns. Or something like... You could do all sorts of things like... Or even 5-note. I'm just making stuff up. Or you could do that with every type of 7th chord if you want. There's my A7. Sorry, I skipped A major 7. What I'm focusing on is a nice fluid rotation back and forth this way. You can also focus on a slight bit of turning over like this. So when you're doing your arpeggios, you're not just turning it that way, you can also kind of turn it that way. So any type of pattern that you can come up with. I'm all about making up exercises as well as practicing things like Czerny as well. So just mess around, but get that fluid motion going. Now, another way to loosen the wrist, I'm going to go over 2 more things. The first one is like a free... Thank you so much for watching. I've listed 2 links in the description below. One of them is to download this full video that you've just watched the sample for. The other is to view the entire library of VIP MasterClass series videos. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.